Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to say thank you for coming to my seminar discussion. It's a pleasure to see you all. But let me introduce myself first. I'm Aprili Rizky Syawalia. You can just call me April, and I'm from Department of English Education, employee class 4th semester in PANCA SAKTI University BEKASI. The topic of my presentation today is I'm going to talk about gender at work. So if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer those at the end of my presentation. So my presentation is divided into 3 sessions. On the first sessions, I will show you some of a little bit example about gender at work. And then the second part, I will giving you like some overview about it. And the third sessions, I will open the Q&A, or we can discuss about today's topic. And then lastly, I will giving the conclusion what we get from our discussion. Okay, so when we talk about gender at work, the first thing that comes to our mind must be male domination, women's emancipation, and our gender equality. So now I would like to show you 2 videos. So let's watch it together. Let's move to the second video. Okay, so that's the videos. And well, what do you think about those videos? I will answer, and the answer is so simple. It's about the hardship of woman worker, and we can call it equality gender in the workplace. So equality means equal chance for man and woman. Achieving gender equality is not just important because it's the right thing to do to humans, and it can also provide huge benefits to the business. So, International Labor Organization, there is 70 hundreds of women prefer to be working at a paid job, and 66% of men agree. So all around the world, Women want to work and get paid for it, and the majority of men agree. But there's a gap between women's aspirations and the realities of the labor market. Like women are less likely to be in the labor market, and they face lower chance of finding a job. They are paid less than men, more likely to be in involuntary part-time work, and they are subject to discrimination in the workplace. So the challenge is access to affordable care service. Around the world, women and men agree balancing work and family responsibility, including lack of access to affordable care service, is the major challenge to women at work. And for the opportunity, recognizing, rewarding, reducing, and redistributing care work, and creating more decent care jobs for women and men. There is some point for the hard work shift women worker faces. So the first is violence and harassment that a significant global economic impact. More than one of every 3 women worldwide has experienced physical or sexual violence. Violence against women doesn't only have physical, emotional, and psychological costs. It has a significant impact on national economies. So, violence, harassment, and discrimination can prevent women from entering and staying in the job market, particularly in male-dominated fields. And the second, making work pay. Women earn 23% less than men. The global pay gap between men and women is estimated at 23%. In some countries, women earn just 60% of what men earn for an hour of the same work. Differences in education, experience, age, and career breaks cannot entirely explain why. And the third, discrimination against women. The significant difference is discrimination against women, direct or indirect. And the last, time for transformation. Women at Work Centenary Initiative and the Future of Work Centenary Initiatives provide an opportunity not only to make the obstacle to decent work for women visible, but also spell out the action needed to overcome them. And the deliberate are bold choices we make will ensure a future of work with gender equality at its heart. Major pathways towards achieving gender equality and decent work include 1. Expand services and jobs in the care economy. It means expanding the proposition of accessible and high-quality care service and creating decent jobs in the care economy. 2. Equal pay for work of equal value. It means laws and mechanisms to ensure equal pay for work of equal value. And 3. Extend social protection. It means extend social protection coverage. 4. Ending violence and harassment. We should be ending violence and harassment in the world of work for women. And last, 5. Policies to create jobs and address gender inequality, and macroeconomic policies that foster job-rich growth and address structural gender inequalities. As this presentation has clearly shown, it is essential that if we want to see gender equality all around the world and make decent work for women and men a reality, because equality gender means the equal chance for men and women. Okay, that's my last slide. So thank you for your attention, and let's move, I will open the discussion about my presentation, or maybe all of you have another question about gender equality. So, shall we begin? Are there any questions?
Hello, Teh April.
Hello, Miss Erin. Okay, firstly,
Hello.
can you introduce yourself to the others?
Okay. Hello guys, my name is Erin Fitria.
Okay, Miss Erin.
So I want to give a question. A question
Okay.
is, what is the difference between gender equality, and women's empowerment? Thank you.
Okay, I will answer this one. So, the gender equity is the process of being fair to women and men. To ensure fairness, strategies and measures must often be available to compensate for women's historical and social disadvantage that prevent women and men from otherwise operating on a level playing field. And for the equity leads to equality. So gender equality requires equal enjoyment by women and men of social value goods, opportunities, researches, and rewards. Where gender inequality exists, it is generally women who are excluded or disadvantaged in relation to decision making and access to economic and also social resources. Therefore, a critical aspect of promoting gender equality is the empowerment of women, with a focus on identifying and redressing power imbalance and giving women more autonomy to manage their own lives. So, gender equality doesn't mean that men and women become the same, only that access to opportunities and life change is neither dependent on nor constrained by their sex. Achieving gender equality requires women's empowerment to ensure that decision making at private and public levels and access to resources are no longer weighed in men's favor, so that both women and men can fully participate as equal partners in productive and reproductive life. So that's my answer, Miss Erin. Is it clear for you?
Thank you. Yes, it's clear for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Erin. Any else?
Well, I wanna make a question. Yes,
Okay.
April.
Okay. Could you introduce yourself first?
Okay, my name is Tony Hamonangan, but you can call me just Tony. And then my question is, what is meant by the gender pay gap? What factors contribute to the gender pay gap, and how does it affect the economy? Thank you, Miss April.
Okay, I will answer your question, Mr. Tony. Thank you for your question. So, gender pay gap, the mean is the difference between the average hourly earnings of men and women. The main reason for both of these gaps is that we have more men than women in our senior, more well-paid roles. Women workers' average pay is generally lower than men's in all countries and for all levels of education and age groups. Women in, male-dominated industries may earn more than those in female-dominated industries, but the gender pay gap persists across all sectors. While many factors like factors contribute to the gender wage gap, including discriminatory practice. Research suggests that time away from employment, occupational clustering, and the time demands of jobs explain much of the difference in wage between men and women. Persistent in earning inequality for working women translates into lower lifetime pay for women, less income for families, and higher rates of poverty across from the United States. So in each state in the country, women experience lower earning and higher poverty rates than men. Is it enough my answer, or you want to add another opinion, Mr. Tony?
Well, is it absolutely clear for your answer, and thank you very much to answering my question, Miss April.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Tony. Okay, anyone else want to asking a question?
Okay, hello, Miss April.
Okay,
Thank you so
hello.
much for your presentation. My name is Farah Soraya, and I want to ask a question about gender at work. What factors can account for the fact that women and minorities have a harder time advancing in their careers?
Okay, thank you, Miss Farah. The factor is persistent challenge. There are including gender roles and the pressure to conform to this role for women, regions, religions, and households. One way the pressure to conform manifests itself is through marital status. For instance, in developed and emerging economies, women who have a spouse or a partner are less likely to be employed in a paid job or be actively looking for one. And then for work family balance, across the board, both women and men report that the biggest barrier for women in paid work is the struggle to balance it with family responsibility. Work such as childcare, cleaning, and cooking is necessary for a household welfare and therefore for the well-being of a society as a whole. But women still shoulder the brunt of this often invisible and undervalued workload. And for the lack of transport in developing and emerging country, the lack of safe and accessible transportation is the most challenging factor for the small percentage of women who report being affected by this. And the last, a lack of affordable care. Globally, the lack of affordable care for children or family member is an obstacle for women, both for those looking for a job and those in paid work. In fact, it decreases a woman's participation change by almost 5 percentage points in developing country and 4 percentage points in developed country. So that's my answer, Miss Farah. Is it clear for you?
Yes, thank you so much for your answer. It's clear enough for me. Thank you, Miss April.
Thank you so much, Miss Farah. Any else?
Hi, Miss April. About your topic is so very interesting. Before I share my experience, I get the idea about the question about this title. Okay. Introduce myself. My name is Ratu Madina. Please call me Ratu. About the question from your subject, what are the causes of gender pay inequality, and what can we do about them? Sorry, before that, the situation, I'm on the way into home. So if I'm stable, please apologize me. Thank you, Miss April.
Okay, Miss Ratu, I will answer your question. So, for work experience, women have less work experience than men. Gender differences in work experience are largely because women are more likely than men to cut back their work hours or drop out of the labor force altogether due to family and other outside obligations. Policies that make it easier for women and men to be both workers and family caregivers, such as paid family and medical leave and public support for universal childcare, can help increase women's work experience by allowing them to remain connected to the labor force. And for the second, just more than half of gender pay inequality, it's about 50%, can be explained due to gender differences and in the industry and occupations where men and women work, amounting to a combined estimate of about $400 billion maybe, in which tend to be lower in occupation that are women dominated compared to men dominated occupation of similar skill and education level. So policies such as raising the federal minimum wage can mitigate some of the effects of occupational segregation across the country by raising pay in women-dominated low-wage professions. For racial wage inequality compounds the effect of gender wage inequality for women of color, and according to models employed in the new Equitable Growth Report, explain 4% of gender wage inequality. The effect of race persists even when controlling for other workers' characteristics such as education, work experience, and occupation. Policies that address the legacy and institutional and interpersonal racism in the United States can lessen the racial disparity in wage and regional differences in pay are to be expected given that the cost of living varies across states. So I think because regional differences have a statistically significant relationship to gender wage inequality, national laws are necessary to level the playing field for all workers. Ms. Ratu, is it clear enough or are you?
Your answers are very detailed and inspiring. Thank you very much. Maybe about the initiation, my experience, maybe that I will tell about next. Okay, thank you, Miss Aprili.
Okay, thanks, Miss Ratu. Okay, maybe I will open the last slot for question.
Okay, hello, Miss April.
Hello, could you introduce yourself first?
Okay, my name is Citra Putri, and I have a question. What is the difference between sexual harassment and discrimination, and how can we, as a woman worker, prevent it? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Citra, for your question. So, sexual harassment is a form of sex-based discrimination at the workplace. It is a violation of fundamental rights of workers and is considered a problem of safety and health. From International Labour Organization, we should take the following steps to prevent sexual harassment, such as get high-level management support for implementing a strategy to address sexual harassment, write and implement a sexual harassment policy, provide regular training and information on sexual harassment to all staff and management, encourage appropriate conduct by managers who should model professional conduct at all times, and last, create a positive workplace environment by removing offensive, explicit, or pornographic material such as calendars, posters, and literature from the workplace. So that's my answer, Citra. Is it clear or you have any opinion?
Not, it's good enough. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Citra. Does anyone to ask some question again? So if not, I will end the discussion sessions because we are running out of time. So to sum up, I'd like to say women and men are both have the same change. Gender equality prevents violence against women and girls. Gender equality is good for the economy. Gender equality makes our community safer and healthier. And the most important is, gender equality is a human right. Well, I have covered the point that I needed to present. That concludes my presentation for today. I'd like to thank you for taking time out to join this seminar discussion. I really appreciate your contribution. Thank you so much. So, I'm Aprili Rizky Syawalia. See you in another change. Stay healthy, everyone. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.